Used to go visit Grandpa up outside Bozeman in the winters. Grandpa is this tiny, little, frail old man, but he's hardy as fuck. He used to take us snowshoeing up in the mountains, and carry most of the gear in this sled he pulled behind him. It was fucking cold up there. Your snot would be frozen before it left your nose. The times he did convince us to go out, we ended up staying in ice caves that Grandpa had carved into snowbanks earlier in the winter. It got dark really early, and of course no campfires because ice and snow everywhere. One year we're out camping with Grandpa, and he's really on edge the whole trip. Don't ask him why, because we're stupid kids and don't think it matters. Random outbursts, yelling at us for not tying a knot right, yelling at us for not keeping up with his insane pace. Stops hiking at about 2 PM. Nightfall isn't for another 3.5 hours. Me and my brother exchange what the fuck looks with each other. Look around for his ice cave. There isn't one. Hey, Grandpa, where are we camping? Grandpa is nowhere to be found. Can't find his footprints, which is strange because snowshoes leave enormous footprints that you can't miss. Backtrack and refollow the trail to where we were earlier. Footprints just fucking end, right where me and my brother were when Grandpa told us to stop for the day. After a lot of deliberation, we decide to head back, following our tracks back to the main road, where we will somehow flag a car down and get help to find our Grandpa. We hike about an hour back the way we came, suddenly hear a voice. Where the hell have you kids been? It's Grandpa, and he's pissed. Says he was hiking along and all, and next time he turned around, we weren't there. Says our footprints just ended about 100 paces back from wherever he was when he realised we were gone. We tell him that something similar happened to us, and we just got back from 2 miles ahead of us on the trail. Suddenly, he goes into wild animal hyper alert mode. Stops talking, eyes scanning the forest around us, head pivoting side to side, trying to see everywhere at once. Get freaked out and brother starts crying. Grandpa won't respond when we ask him what's wrong, quietly muttering incoherently to himself. After what seems like forever, Grandpa starts moving again. Simply says, follow me, and we do. Too scared to argue, but he's going in a third direction, i.e. not where we came from, and not where we were originally headed. We are all hiking close together, literally stepping on each other's feet. Can't hold hands because of ski poles, but we would have if we could have. Eventually emerge in a clearing. I recognise it as a lake, but you would never know it in the winter when everything's frozen. We get out on the ice and walk all the way to the middle of the lake before we stop. Grandpa tells us to get out our parkas, as we're going to be staying a while. Ask him what's happening. Doesn't answer. He gets out binoculars and starts to scan the shoreline. This is a pretty huge lake, so without binoculars, neither me or my brother could really see anything beside little distant trees on the shore. At this point, Grandpa puts the binoculars down, unpacks a fairly large caliber revolver and holster, and puts it on his hip. He then picks the binoculars up and points them in the same direction he was looking a minute ago. Me and my brother both look in that direction. I can barely see something moving around. No, a couple things, all of various sizes. They're all hanging on the bank though. None of them leave the thick brush surrounding the lake, or venture onto the ice. After a few minutes, Grandpa silently hands me the binoculars. When I look at the movement on the shore, I almost shit my pants. There are 3 animals. 2 are what I can only assume are wolves. Maybe coyotes, but I don't think so. The bodies are just too long, almost snake-like. The 3rd animal is some sort of all-white thing standing on 2 legs. The more I look at it, the stranger it seems. At first I took it to be a bear just standing there on its hind legs. Then it started walking, pacing around really, and the legs are just too long and slender to be a bear's. I sit down on the ice, lean up against my backpack, and get a more steady grip in the binoculars. Slowly realise that whatever it is has the approximate build of a human, but the head is clearly not a human head. Some sort of animal. I can't place it. Ask Grandpa what the hell I'm looking at. Brother snatches binocs away, and when he sees it, he labels it Bearman and wants to take a few shots at it. Grandpa says Indians used to dress up in animal furs in order to blend in with the animals they were hunting. Slightly stop shitting myself. It's just an Indian in a bearskin, and he has 2 dogs that look like wolves. And they're following us, but are afraid of ice. Start shitting my pants all over again as I realise that this is about 100 times weirder than a real Bearman. It's starting to get dark, and we're still out there on the ice. We're all watching the Indian slash Bearman slash whatever the fuck it is, and his dog slash wolves slowly wandering along the coastline, clearly avoiding the ice, but clearly trying to get out onto it somehow. Every once in a while, they'll change directions, as though they were pacing back and forth. In the time I have the binoculars, I see the thing, and his dog slash wolves, motionless and staring directly at us many times. No one breaks the silence for a long time. When it gets too dark to see anything on the shore, Grandpa relaxes, puts down the binoculars, and actually starts to make camp as though nothing had happened. Of course, we don't have a tent, but we do have sleeping bags and bivy bags to keep the blowing snow off of them, and the wind off our faces. Me and my brother look at him like he's crazy. We're going to sleep out here. I say something like, "What about that guy? Holy shit, he's right over there." Doesn't matter. We spend the long night in that exact spot. Next morning, we can't locate any animals or bearmen after 40 minutes of scanning the trees around the lake. Grandpa deems it safe enough to head back by now, and since he knows these woods so well, we take a different route back to the main road than what we took to get there. After 1 mile, he's doubling back, staring at mountaintops and measuring angles between them and his arms, and I'm convinced he's lost. In the next moment, several things happen all at once. With no warning, a huge moose gallops out of seemingly thin air and almost crushes my brother, managing to push him on the ground. Grandpa collapses for an unknown reason. The 3 of us form a triangle, and in the middle is a slender person covered in all white fur, like a polar bear, and with a bear head, or maybe a mask, but it looked pretty damn lifelike. The 2 wolves, I'm sure they're wolves now, are circling at a distance. Or rather, one is circling. I don't see the other. Bearman lets loose a scream like you imagine Bigfoot might make when caught in a bear trap. Grandpa half sits up, points revolver, and fires off 3 shots at the thing in rapid succession. Huge puff of snow like a silent explosion, and can't see anything for a few seconds. Now a second moose goes hurtling through, and after it's gone and the snow has settled down, the Bearman is gone too. No traces of blood to be found. Can still see the one wolf, pretty far away, but it's still circling. We proceed to book it out of the woods, taking the shortest and most direct route off of the mountain. Think that Grandpa isn't really sure about where he's going, but nobody gives a shit. We have to keep moving. Still think I see a wolf out at the edge of my vision, several 100 feet through the trees, or maybe it's both of them. We eventually get back to Grandpa's car. Turns out he did know where he was going. It's been covered in fresh snowfall since we left it there. There's 10-inch paw prints all the fuck over it and around it. Nope. We clean off the snow and see that there are dents in the hood, like hail fell on it, but they're right under where the paw prints were. Nope.tar.gz.biz.nope. On the drive home, we all swear to never speak of this to Grandma or to my mom. Have to swerve out of the way of a huge roadkill. Almost drive off the road. Stop just in time. The thing in the road is a huge mound of fur with no distinct animal-like forms. No head, no legs, no tail, blood everywhere. Looks like a giant skin thrown over a giant mound of flesh. It moves. Nope. Grandpa peels the fuck out, drives home 30 miles per hour over the speed limit, and we never look back.